Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, this is Tony Day. I wanted to tell you guys about the new update for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. So I've been really excited and waiting for this. It's the inclusion of Blackmagic Raw, and I've really wanted this. I saw it being used in the Ursa, and I was just like, man, even in 12.1, I could not believe how good the image quality looked. It was just incredible. Let's talk about this, because this is actually controversial, I guess, right now for some reason, and I wanted to wait, but I want to address a couple things right now so that if you're worried for whatever reason, I just don't think you should be. So let's just go over this real quick. New things, it's got the Blackmagic Raw codec support, which is the big upgrade for it. The double tap touchscreen zoom is awesome. I've been using it. It really is really cool that you can just double tap on the screen and it zooms in. The tap to focus is now you tap and hold the focus, which I think is a really good idea. And the big controversial thing right now is that they removed cinema DNG formats. Now I'm going to let Grant Petty talk about this. I think he does a really good job of explaining things in a better way than me or anybody else is going to explain them, and he explains why. The link should be right when he starts talking about the Pocket 4K, but it should be about 15 minutes and 30 seconds into the video. From what I've gathered, it seems that there's a patent claim that's being made against Blackmagic Design for compressing cinema DNG for some reason, and I'm not sure how they're going to really win that kind of claim. But it seems like what they're going to do is they're just going to just remove it from their current cameras and the newer updates with them, I guess, to deal with the problem. So I've worked in the VFX industry, and I know how annoying patent suits can be. So if it's not really worth it to Blackmagic Design, then they're not going to fight it, it seems, and that totally makes sense. But it is a loss for all of us. I mean, if you like cinema DNG and you like the workflow, I don't, but if you're somebody who liked it and it's being taken away from you, please don't blame these guys. Like, they were trying to give it to you. It's the people filing the patent claim that are to blame for Blackmagic Design removing it. So I see a lot of people kind of dragging Blackmagic Design's name through the mud, and it's like, look, it's the unnamed person who's doing this. It's not Blackmagic Design's fault. If they could keep it in there and they weren't being attacked in this way, then I'm sure they would leave it in there. I don't think they ever planned to remove it, but please throw the blame on the people who deserve it. Do not punish these guys. I think they're doing everything they can to, they released a $1,300 camera that rivals big brands, and big expensive cameras to me, as far as the image quality and what you can actually do with it. So please give these guys a break. Okay. Another thing about Blackmagic Raw compared to cinema DNG is, of course, people already are throwing initial experiences and initial reviews and comparison studies, and a lot of times these comparison studies are like one subject with unknown parameters for the study, and you have no idea how they're doing it. There's this one about, I'm not going to link to it because I think it's ridiculous, but there's a Superman one that's going around. There's nothing you can conclude from that. So this is the hype cycle, and I kind of want to talk about this because it's very much to do with what's going on with Blackmagic Raw right now. So this is the hype cycle curve, and you need to understand this. If you work in technology at all, you have to understand this, and especially if you want to be a consumer, you got to know where you are on this curve currently and in the past, and where you want to be in the future. Okay, so let's look at virtual reality and how it can kind of relate to this, so you can understand this. In the beginning, it'll be where somebody says, hey, I have this idea for, VR, virtual reality. It's where you put a thing on your head and you're in this other world, and people go, oh my God, really? This will be an amazing thing. I can't believe it. And you'll have news reports and everybody's going to be looking at it, and oh my God, what are the possibilities? And you get up here at the peak of your inflated expectations, and people are having those news reports come out saying, oh, people in the future are just going to be fed through tubes and hydrated through intravenous things, and nobody will go out anymore, and nobody will get married. We won't have babies. and then reality kicks in, and you see how crappy it looks, and you go, oh my god, this sucks. This is a horrible thing. No one will ever want this. You get here into the trough of disillusionment. You guys remember the Virtual Boy? You guys know what this is? This is the height of the VR craze back in the day that I can remember, and the biggest disappointment that I can recall when it comes to virtual reality. So, people were down here, and we're right now kind of in this area where people are understanding that virtual reality can be used in a number of ways that's not just entertainment. It can be used in these amazing new programs where scientists are actually able to move around DNA and all kinds of stuff. I mean, we're actually in VR. There's some really cool stuff going on if you know where to look. This VR also kind of let way to augmented reality, which is somewhere in this curve right now. And Blackmagic Raw, to me, it's this thing, really, and just in like a year, it's kind of gone through its paces here. You've got where people are just talking about it and how compressed it can get and amazing it can be, and then you get here where it's going to be released, and now it's released for the Pocket 4K, which hits way more consumers than the previous iterations and the previous cameras, and people are all of a sudden down here in this trough of disillusionment, which makes no sense to me. It just came out. Give it a shot. So you shoot for here, okay? Braw, Blackmagic Braw, whatever you want to call it, is a great codec, okay? Here I've shot a little bit with it. This is a focus breathing test that I'm doing, and a post-production fix for the Sigma 50-100 f1.8, and basically the image quality out of this is incredible, okay? The image quality out of Blackmagic Raw is awesome, and you can get basically the raw controls, the same kinds of controls that you had before. It's a little bit different, the layout and everything. You got like your gamma controls here and the color temperature and everything. It has a couple things that are not the same, but you have the highlight recovery little tick box. I haven't done enough with that to know like how much you can get back or whatever. You got the ISO adjustments that you can do. I've also noticed that the reds look a lot better than in Cinema DNG or in the previous versions, so that's also a good thing, at least to me. I have got to test it to see if it's dealing with the oversaturated reds better, but it looks really good. You have a lot of options here, and the compression rate that you can get is amazing. The different Q versions and the different constant bit rates give you a wide variety of different kinds of recording codecs you can use that can fit your needs, which is awesome, and you are going to have these controls. Now, whether or not there's going to be more or less noise, or there's going to be more or less details, or maybe 12.1 is only going to be good for certain things, and Q0 you want for other circumstances, you'll have to find that out on your own, and I'm sure other people are going to do more than enough testing and benchmark tests to know like which is best for X and which is best for Y, and which one is the best compromise between the two. So, just don't worry, okay? I've looked at this. I've recorded in, the different Qs and the different constant bit rates. I haven't done enough to make a video to make a comparison or to make a full disclosed, I guess, review of the codec. I don't really think I'm even skilled enough in doing reviews to really do that kind of thing. I just can give you my opinions. And my opinions, at least so far, in the one day that it's been out, which means hardly anybody has had to really test it with the Pocket 4K. We just haven't had the time. I can tell you that the image quality looks awesome. I mean, it really, really does. And I really think that Blackmagic Design is onto something with this. And not only does the image quality look really good, okay? If you're upset that Cinema DNG is not included with the Blackmagic Raw codecs, just, look. I'm on a really crappy computer right now, okay? The GPU is junk. So if you were complaining about not having Cinema DNG and you only get Braw, I'm going to tell you this right now. I cannot do this with Cinema DNG. I'm just scrubbing back and forth with a grade. If I have any grades whatsoever in Cinema DNG, I can't do this. It just stutters all over the place, and it's terrible. I can just play this, and it plays in real time with my grades. I mean, this isn't a crazy grade or anything like that, but in Cinema DNG, I can't even do this, okay? So, yeah, you'll notice the focus breathing is just awful. So, hopefully I'll be able to make this video for you guys soon where it's a focus breathing fix in post, which works mostly. This is like a horrible circumstance, but the sharpness, the image quality, especially if you look at it like a normal human being without your eyeball right up next to the screen, that kind of stuff, like if you actually use this in a real life situation, it looks awesome. And honestly, I found that, you know, if I just add a note at the end, you know, go to sharpening, pull the radius down slightly, like to, I don't know, 40, probably like a 48, and then bump the midtone detail by a little bit. I mean, it looks close enough to Cinema DNG to me. It looks awesome. I'm not sure what people are complaining about. It's just not a big deal to me. The render speed. Rendering in Braw compared to Cinema DNG is so fast. Like, it's not even comparable how fast Blackmagic Raw images render compared to Cinema DNG. It is a night and day difference. That small little extra of detail in Cinema DNG just does not warrant the use of it, in my opinion, for normal projects. In fact, I wouldn't even use them for higher end projects in Cinema DNG because it's not fast enough for post. It's just not fast enough for me. I would actually rather shoot ProRes HQ for pretty much anything I would be doing rather than Cinema DNG. That's just me though. Okay, maybe I don't work on the same projects as you or other people who are complaining, but Blackmagic Raw so far, whatever the detail difference, is just not enough to deal with the post production hassle that goes along with Cinema DNG. Not in my opinion, at least. So I really do recommend getting the 6.2 update. You can always, if you keep the 6.1 on your computer, I'm not sure if they'll pull that back or anything, but if you really want Cinema DNG, just roll back to 6.1, you know, and use that. I'm assuming BMD is okay with that. I mean, I think. So, you know, in 6.2, I really think that the Blackmagic Raw codec is far, far superior than Cinema DNG. Unless you're, you know, putting your eyeball up next to the screen and really scrutinizing every little detail, I really don't think you're going to care, and I really don't think your audience is going to care. Remember, like you and me, we're actual video producers or, you know, cinematographers or video makers who are looking for this stuff. But for the most part, the people who are actually going to be consuming what you make, are they really going to tell the difference between Cinema DNG and Braw? I mean, will they really know the difference? Are you ever going to show them a side-by-side to ask them what the difference is? I wouldn't, so I'm not sure if you would. So I do recommend, if you really want to know about Blackmagic Raw, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more when I've had a chance to do more with it, but what I do recommend is that you check out the video by Blackmagic Design talking about Blackmagic Raw so you can completely understand what's going on with it. They do a really good job of explaining it. I want to, you know, big shout out to Grant Petty for doing this video and the other videos about the products, because I think these are very helpful for us to know what's going on and to know what's happening with the new updates, especially with something as complex as a codec. He uses these blocks and it makes it very clear what's going on. So that's all I have to say about the update. I'll hopefully have more time to use it and to let you know what I think about it more completely the more I get to use it. But just, you know, if you are getting the camera, don't worry. Blackmagic Raw is awesome. It's much more usable to me than ProRes. It's like basically ProRes on steroids.